Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to our English news edition coming to you from Canal, Algérie. I'm your host, Maysa Doumas, to the headlines. Our civil defense element successfully returns to Algeria through the border cross of Teboul after their efficient intervention in extinguishing fires in Tunisia. The Algerians Jamal Sajjati and Slimane Moula were qualified for the final 800-meter race of the World Athletics Championships taking place in the American city of Eugene. And Moroccans continue their demonstrations denouncing the deteriorating living conditions and the normalization with the Zionist entity. We end our news edition from Shishal province, where a kayaking club offers visitors a magnificent summer experience. Those were today's headlines. We start our news edition with the return of the civil defense elements to Algeria after their efficient intervention in extinguishing fires in Tunisia. This humanitarian aid was sent to Tunisia by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, following the request of the Tunisian President Qais Said. Najah Tayyar has the details.
Mission accomplished for the units of firefighters under the civil defense after participating in the fire extinguishing operations in Jebel Bouqarnin. The columns of the civil defense were welcomed at Teboul border post by the civil and military authorities of the province. We have accomplished our mission ordered by the President of the Republic, the Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces and the Ministry of the National Defense, which consisted of going to Tunisia and participate in the extinction of the fires declared last Tuesday in Jebel Bouqarnin in Belarus province. On behalf of the highest authorities of the country, I would like to give the symbolic gift for the work accomplished during the humanitarian action. We received a special welcome as soon as we arrived at the border post for the mission accomplished with our Tunisian brothers. At the borders, the Tunisians expressed their gratitude and their satisfaction for the aid received by the elements of the civil defense, a humanitarian action welcomed by the Algerians as well. I am proud of the Algerians, young and old. May God protect them all and give them force and courage. I am Tunisian and I would like to thank our Algerian brothers. This is not the first time the Country of Martyrs gave us the helping hand, as long as Algeria came our side in the most difficult moments. Thanks to their huge experience and their professionalism, the agents of the civil defense have succeeded in providing an immediate aid and support to the Tunisian firemen.
In his capacity as Special Envoy of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad Minister Ramtan Al-Amamra arrived on Friday to the capital of the Republic of Iraq, Baghdad, for a two-day working visit. Upon his arrival, he held one-on-one bilateral conversation with his Iraqi counterpart, Fuad Mohammed Hussein. The talks extended to the delegations of the two countries. For the second time in the history of the Algerian participation of the World Athletics Championships, the Algerians Jamal Sajjati and Slimane Moula were qualified for the final 800-meter race of the World Athletics Championships taking place in the American city of Eugene. Slimane Moula won his semi-final race with a score of 1 minute 44 seconds and 89 milliseconds, while Jamal Sajjati won his race with a timing of 1 minute 45 seconds and 44 milliseconds. It is worth mentioning that Algeria is participating with 7 athletes in this competition, organized from July 15th to the 24th. Pursuant to the provisions of the presidential decree that includes calling voters for partial elections in some municipal councils on October 15, 2022, the Independent National Authority of Elections informed citizens and approved parties wishing to run for candidacy that the same measures that were taken during the elections of the members of the municipal councils in November 27, 2021 will be implemented for the municipalities of Faraoun, Msisna, Aqbu and Tuja in the province of Bijaya. the municipalities of Ait Mahmoud and Ait Boumehdi in the province of Tizi Ouzou. The list of candidates submitted must be supported with a number of signatures according to the following method: Municipal Council with 13 seats, 260 signatures; Municipal Council with 15 seats, 300 signatures; Municipal Council with 23 seats, 805 signatures. The deadline for submitting forms of subscribing to signature of approval by the judge will be on August 25th, 2022 at 12 a.m. Concerning submitting candidacy files of Article 179, the declaration of collective candidacy must be submitted by the candidate of the party or by candidates of the independent list on August 25th, 2022 at midnight. In the pharmaceutical industry, the BioPharm company is producing more than 10 million tables of medicines and is developing a brand new laboratory that will help produce and market new medicines. Rania Al-Bahri tells us more.
In this pharmaceutical production unit, more than 10 million tablets are produced annually. Several Algerian laboratories have embarked on local manufacturing projects for cancer medicine to guarantee a better supply of the national market. The types of medicine available on the Algerian market are Anatrex and Lenazax. We aim to get a decision for registration and to propose other medicines in order to cover the national market. Our unit has been strengthened by a new laboratory in order to develop 5 new drugs. In this laboratory, equipped with brand new equipment, the raw material is carefully analyzed to ensure the quality of the drugs and meet the international standards. The company ensures the quality of its products by the control of the raw material and thus all the stages of the medicine's manufacture. The medicine's control process passes by several stages. The most important are the concentration control, analysis control, and impurity control. Developing the pharmaceutical industry and making it a real engine of economic growth is a strategy adopted by public authorities with a view of ensuring the sanitary sovereignty of our country and imposing ourselves an international market.
In the industrial zone of Sidi Bel Abbas, where 2 local companies are producing internationally, the first factory manufactures and exports doors to Mauritania, while the other manufactures feedstuff for cattle. Najah Tayyar has the details.
These doors intended for different uses have enabled this private company from Sidi Bel Abbas to embark on exports and integrate in the African market. Our first export operation was to Mauritania by sea from the city of Algiers to the city of Nouakchott. We will soon be exporting to Senegal too. Decreasing the prices of the goods with the local raw material, a condition that allows this company to export its products, feed supplements for livestock based on minerals. We have a competitive product compared to foreign products, and this due to the raw material, which is 100% local and above all inexpensive. Therefore, the price will be competitive at the international level. In the industrial zone of Sidi Bel Abbas, some companies have been exporting for several years already, as is the case here in this manufacturing unit of the automobile spare parts. Our company was created in 1987. At the beginning, we started with the production of a single part, then we reached 62 types of parts, which we export to France and other European countries. It has been more than 10 years. Unfortunately, the pandemic of COVID-19 had slowed down the rate of the export activity, but today we are working on catching up. The economic operators active on this field of export can count on the support of the state for the promotion of exports of the national product and the revival of the economy. Our doors are open every day of the week to take care of all concerns of the economic operators in order to facilitate the development of their business, as well as export operators to foreign markets. Today, our goal is to make the province of Sidi Bel Abbas an export center. With competitive products, these companies have succeeded in satisfying and conquering the international market.
The Moroccan Prime Minister is more and more rejected by the people, and demonstrations are denouncing the inhumane measures set in place that benefit the rich and push the poorest citizens into more poverty. Story by Manal Ammari.
Moroccans continue to demand the departure of the head of government, Aziz Akhnouch, for several months now, as a result of the tension and repression that the Moroccan people are going through because of a Makhzen regime whose policy is to keep the country under repression. The campaign launched on social media against the Moroccan Prime Minister Aziz Akhnouch continues to gain momentum, and internet users are even discussing the possibility of a general or partial boycott of the hydrocarbons companies owned by Akhnouch. This crisis concerns hydrocarbons as well as essential commodities that the country is dependent on, namely water in many regions going through a rough drought, which led this aggravation to reach its peak, as was seen throughout the interrupted demonstrations in several big cities. The struggle is even more noticeable in the outskirts of Morocco, where populations are neglected. Akhnouch's arrival in Agadir was a provocation that Moroccans did not process. As he stepped on the event stage, the head of government was welcomed by Akhnouch Get Out, or Akhnouch Dégage, chanted by the festival attendees, who were echoing the message of the hashtag circulating the internet. This tourist trip is considered as a provocation, especially at a time when Moroccans are called on to cut expenditure and tighten their belts. This rumbling anger is likely going to ring the death knell for this government that is not in tune with the country.
Let's move to Shirshal province to take a look at kayaking with the Z Adventure Club. For 2,800 Algerian dinars, you are entitled to a breakfast, 2 hours of kayaking, and half a day in the beach. Report by Walid Yousfi, commentary by Rania Al-Bahri.
When life gets overwhelming, it's vital to take a step back and do some self-care. Going out on kayak is the perfect way to relax and refocus on the important things in life. Shirshal province was up to the task. Generally, the persons who came for kayaking never tried this activity before. First of all, we show them the safety instructions and everything about using it. I have seen an advertisement on the internet and I wanted to try. Before starting, they explained to us the safety instructions and everything you need to know about kayaking activity. We had a good time. I came with a friend. It's the first time for us to practice kayaking. It was fun and the weather was very nice. I really enjoyed it. I intend to come back. Kayaking is a sport that gained popularity in Algeria. It gives a chance to explore nature, watching the sunset over the sea while seated in your small boat. It always offers a relaxation and calmness.
That was it for our news edition. Thanks for tuning in to our program. Good night.